This might be the most dramatic watch I've reviewed all year. And you know what? That's perfectly fine with me. Is it subtle? No. Is it practical? Not even a little. I'm not even sure that legibility was part of its main mission. But I'll tell you this, you will not forget this watch. Hey, there you are, and welcome to My Dude Watch. My name is Jason, and today we are looking at the Geya Planetary Flywheel 2. This thing is bold, multi-axis mechanical timepiece designed as an affordable, artistic alternative to ultra-luxury astronomy watches. And whether you are a fan of this kind of watch or not, doesn't even matter. You do not want to miss this. This is going to be fun. You know the deal. Grab a snack, pull up a chair, and let's talk watches. I want to take just a moment to thank Geya Watches for sponsoring today's video. They sent over this watch here, the G78201, and asked for a complete and comprehensive review. So today we're going to talk through this watch. We're going to break down the design, the wrist presence, the experience, and whether this watch will work for you. All right, guys, we're ready to roll, and we'll start right here with the tail of the tape. The G78201 measures in at 46.3 millimeters in case diameter, 54 millimeters lug-to-lug, 22 millimeters thick. It also carries a 22 millimeter strap and weighs in at approximately 110 grams. So yes, this thing has serious wrist presence. The case itself is 316L stainless steel. You get sapphire crystal with a gold-plated tempered film, 50 meters of water resistance, a genuine leather strap with a folding clasp, and 155 Zircon Accents integrated throughout the design. Power in this guy is the LUZ MIT9 TDC mechanical movement with approximately 48 hours of power reserve. The very first thing you notice about this watch is just how aggressive the design language is. You've got angular case shapes, layered architecture, gold accents, and mechanical movement everywhere you look. There is a lot happening underneath this crystal. This thing feels futuristic, almost cyberpunk, and I mean that as a compliment. The centerpiece here is obviously the rotating planetary flywheel display. Everything here feels animated. There's depth, reflection, and movement throughout the entire watch, and because of that, it constantly changes depending on the angle and the lighting. Then Geya adds 155 Zircon accents throughout the design, and it immediately tells you this watch is not trying to sit quietly, not even remotely. This watch wants to be noticed. Because too many watches today feel safe, this one absolutely does not. Now, one thing I think deserves some real attention here is the crystal and the side profile. Just take a look at the height of this sapphire crystal. And because of the thickness and curvature of that crystal, the whole watch feels alive under the glass. You'll notice how light constantly bounces all over the place. The reflections here are wild. The depth is wild. The entire experience feels almost theatrical, which is the point. And while, yes, 22 millimeters thick is objectively huge, the visual payoff is pretty incredible. If this watch was built to attract attention, mission accomplished. Now let's talk about legibility for just a moment, because if your number one priority is quick, perfect, instant time reading, this probably isn't your watch. This watch prioritizes spectacle over practicality, and I actually think that's completely okay. Not every watch has to function like a hardcore tool watch. Some watches exist to create emotion, some watches exist for conversation, and some exist simply because they're fun. And this thing absolutely falls into that category because, in my opinion, the target buyer of this watch doesn't really care if it takes an extra second to find the time. The person buying this watch wants to get reactions, and trust me, that's going to happen. Now, despite the size, this thing actually does wear better than I expected, so don't misunderstand me, it's still massive, but because the watch is visually dynamic instead of just being a giant slab of steel, it carries itself differently. And you'll notice too, once light starts hitting all these layers, it begins to catch these moving components. You begin to really understand the purpose of the design. This thing isn't simply a watch you wear, this is a watch you experience. Okay, let's talk about this movement. Now, there's not a ton of information out there on this movement, so long-term reliability is still somewhat of a mystery. We know the power reserve is approximately 48 hours and little more. But I want to make sure we're fair to Geya because my experience with all of their watches has been really good, and I haven't personally had any issues with any of their models. And truthfully, with a watch like this, the movement is part of the visual experience. Its job is to bring all the motion and theater to life, and it certainly does that. Let's move on over to the strap. So this is genuine leather with a folding clasp. It feels substantial and supports the overall luxury fashion aesthetic pretty well. And I think this is a really good choice for the watch because anything thinner or more understated probably wouldn't be able to keep up with the size of the watch and the personality that the watch employs. You've reached that part of the video where we put it all together and try to make sense of it all. We like to call this segment Gripes and Likes. And we will begin right here with the gripes. Number one, this guy is 22 millimeters thick, which will eliminate some of you from purchasing it right away. Now, I understand why it is 22 millimeters, but it will simply be too big for those with smaller wrists. Number two, legibility absolutely takes a back seat to the visual drama, which was the intention of the design. And now the likes. Number one, this thing has unbelievable visual presence. The architecture was intentional and it is legit. Number two, it genuinely feels different from almost everything else out there right now. So this is clearly a statement piece. And number three, if you love mechanical art watches, this thing absolutely delivers a unique and fun experience. You will not be disappointed if this is your lane. So who is this watch for? This is for somebody who wants their watch to be noticed. Now, remember, people buy for different reasons. Some people buy watches for heritage, some buy them for utility, and some buy them for technical excellence. The buyer of this watch wants individuality, and through this, it is achieved. So what are your thoughts on this watch? You got to remember, at the end of the day, this watch is not trying to compete with your divers or your field watches or even your dress watches, nor does it have to. This thing exists in its own lane, which is exactly why I had to review it. It's not trying to compete with your divers or your field watches or even your dress watches. It's nice to see a watch brand take chances, and we are in a world filled with safe designs, endless homages, so it's refreshing to see a brand create something completely theatrical. Will everyone love it? Absolutely not. Is it forgettable? Not a chance. But you know what? There's always room in our collections for a little mechanical madness. Hey, you made it to the end of another video. Thank you for doing that. We appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed what you saw today, please take the time to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It'll only take you a second, but it really does help. All right, we checked the time and it is time to wrap it up. So we will close the show. My name is Jason with My Dude Watch. We'll do it all again next time. But wait, don't forget, dudes can't be late.
Dudes can't be late.